I'm currently in one of the beautiful houses where you live. It's one of the houses that you built yourself.
This house is rented apartment. I'm just telling you to help me pay my rent.
You don't own this house?
I don't own it. I'm renting it. Everything.
So this is a rented apartment?
This is rented apartment.
Do you work now?
What kind of work?
Acting.
Acting, no.
What do you do now?
I don't do anything.
How do you eat? How do you get food? How do you get money?
I've become a charity case. Right now, immediately, we need 3,000 cedis. That will cover 6 months advance payment. So please, if you get something and you want to pay, you want to give me something, the number is 0559 234 834. About me sardine.
Presence.
Kwasho komala.
Presence.
Bonsholo idi.
Presence.
Ni nika.
Presence.
Kanto menting pele.
Presence.
Step 1 TV. Captivating experience.
Okay, so you are welcome back to our channel. Kindly like the video, you leave a comment, subscribe to the channel as well because we have a lot for you. Today on the show, I'm going to have an interaction with one of the legends of our land, Ghana here. He's an actor, he's been on our screens for so many years, and today is a great honor for us to be with him. I'm talking about Sam Adjetey. We know him as TT, taxi driver fame. Uncle Titi, welcome.
Thank you. The name is Sam Adjeteyfio.
Okay, so Sam Adjeteyfio.
Actually, my full name is Zifa Ephraim Sam Adjeteyfio, where Sam Adjeteyfio is the surname.
Okay.
But for showbiz, I did away with the first two and then split the surname. And that is why we have Sam Adjeteyfio.
Wow. Okay, so where did you grow up?
I'm full blood La.
La, from La. Mami.
I was born and bred in La.
Okay, which part of La?
From my father's end, Adjeteyfio.
Okay.
Drase, Adjeteyfio. My mother, Abafun, Abentiawe.
Okay.
Abentiawe in Abafun. And then Adjeteyfio at Drase.
Okay.
Or La.
Okay, so let's look at education. Your education, how is it like?
Education, I started from Laboni Primary School.
Okay.
Then I played the truant a bit.
Okay.
I played the truant a bit, so I didn't go to school for some time.
Okay.
And then went on to Anglican.
Okay.
La Anglican.
Okay.
From
La.
1 to...
The one by the roadside?
Yeah.
Okay.
Where you have the Anglican church at La. And then from there, I went to Holy Trinity Cathedral Secondary School. We were the 4th generation at Holy Trinity Cathedral Secondary School. A year after that, then the school was absorbed into the government system. As it stands, I was the only person who had been awarded scholarship when the school was still a private school.
Okay.
Holy Trinity Cathedral Secondary School. Me only.
Wow.
Right after the announcement, then something started here.
What was that?
Some small dots here.
Okay.
But it was sensational. I mean, something was attached. Then I felt uncomfortable. So I told my father that no. Something was happening. He said, oh, those dots.
Yeah.
I said, no. There's something, like the place is on fire. Charlie, before you could say Jack, the thing had grown like this. Hey, then it was coming. So in 1972, I went for surgery.
What was it your dream to become an actor one day?
I think I was born with it. Because when I was a little boy, I hated gloomy places.
Okay.
Whenever I got to a place where people were sad with all this kind of thing, I was bound to say something. People would start laughing.
Okay.
So when I was in school, this acting thing, I was acting in school.
Okay.
I was acting. I quite remember at Anglican school, there was going to be a PTA meeting.
Okay.
And then there was a ban on drumming and dancing.
Okay.
So the head teacher called me, Adjetey, how are we going to entertain the parents? So
why you?
They saw in me. Because, you know, sometimes I would just organize the children and then we'll do something.
Okay.
Poetry recitals and then I said, okay, we'll come up with it. So I picked some of the school children. And I said, and then one teacher helped us. He said, you'll be a teacher and then you'll be calling the register.
Okay.
Okay. So you hear me. Anything you hear from me, say present, sir. Okay. You say present, sir.
Yes.
Do you understand?
I get you.
About means sardine.
Present, sir.
Kwashokomala.
Present, sir.
Bonsholo idi.
Present, sir.
Nika.
Present, sir.
Cantonment in Pele.
Present, sir. So you did this.
So we did this, and the parents loved it. You know, we did that, and the parents loved it. So, I mean, when I went to secondary school, the same thing, history repeated itself.
You were acting in secondary school.
Secondary school, history repeated itself. Again, there was ban on drumming and dancing.
Wow. And
then the teachers called me because I had done something in the class. And then they said, Adjetey, what could you do for the school? Because this time round, it's speech and prize giving day and ban on drumming and dancing.
So they needed some form of entertainment.
Entertainment. You needed to entertain the parents. Then I said, Then I said, okay, I'll call the children. So I called from 1, from 2, from 3. I picked a few from them. Meanwhile, my colleagues were preparing for the final exams. And so some of the teachers were saying, well, when people were studying for their I didn't mind them. I called the children and then I told them what to do.
Okay.
And then we staged the play, I tell you.
You wrote everything yourself?
No, I didn't write. I just conceived the whole thing in my head.
Okay.
And then I told them, you do this, say this. And so when you say it, if you didn't say something correctly, I corrected you. I said, yes, this. Within 2 weeks, we had a play ready.
Wow.
And then speech and prize giving day, I showcased it. After secondary school, I told you, I got scared. If you look at this place, you will see a lump there.
Okay.
After 1973, after the excision,
okay,
I came back to school and I felt like, yeah, let me go back. Something like, then this time round, it hit big time. This thing grew and then it took under my tongue.
Wow.
So from here, like this, the tumor. So my face turned half like this. In those days, it was traumatic for me. The man who did it was the late Professor Bedu. Okay. And then the anesthetician was also one professor, I've forgotten the name, but another professor. He was limping. All the top guys, along with a whole lot of these young doctors. After the operation, when I'm talking, you see that part of my lips are turned like this. If you've been watching my films, you'll see that my lips are turned like this. That was after the, that is what I got from the surgery.
So let's look at your first commercial acting. The first movie you acted, or which producer you worked with?
At that time, Idi Koko.
Okay, Augustine Abbey.
Augustine Abbey. They were trying some group at Medina, and I was at Accra Training College.
Okay.
So I got close to them, and then I joined in naturally. And so I was in my house. I'm telling you, how I got into the mainstream, big board acting. When Emmanuel Appiah came to my house, Titi, they were going to give this role to somebody, and I said no. I had watched you, and I know you can handle it. I said that was the first film was Killing Me Softly.
Okay.
And I said okay. Then the producer came and said, how much will you charge? And I told him, how much can you give me? He said, how much can you charge? I said, okay, give me 1 million. He said, 1 million for what? Ah, what do you mean? After all, who knows you? Nobody knows you. I said, oh. Cool. How much will you pay me? He said, 500. I said, no problem.
500,000.
500,000 at that time, like 50
Today,
cedis.
50 cedis.
I said, no problem, we'll do it. After the show, the guy came to my house. Sorry, sir, we've cheated you. In fact, we should have even paid you more than you asked for. But we'll make it up to you in the next production. That next production never came. You see how things came. So, as I said, acting had been with me since I was, I think I should say I was born with it.
Okay. You became very popular on our televisions from the 90s to the early 2000s with Taxi Driver. You had a lot of money from that production, right?
Did you say money?
Yeah. Because every Wednesday, the whole Ghana was watching you.
Yeah.
And everybody wants to watch Taxi Driver because of TT.
Yeah.
So you made a lot of money.
That was the perception.
Were you not paid?
I got into Taxi Drivers with my heart, everything, because of the late John Kay. John Kay sat me down in
Musician John Kay.
Musician John Kay. You know, he owned Taxi Driver. He invited me to the office at Village Communications at that time. And when I went, he was sitting in the visitor's chair. And then he asked me to sit in the executive chair. I said, no, sir. You are the boss, sit there. He said, I said, sit down there. Okay, I obliged him. Then he said, you know why you are sitting in that chair? Because if Taxi Driver was going to make a headway, it's you. It's you who are going to spearhead Taxi Driver, make Taxi Driver popular. And the man spent nearly 2 hours talking to me. And right now, whenever I mention John Kay, the only thing that comes to my face is the earnestness in his eyes at that time. And that got my heart and everything into Taxi Driver.
So,
but what he didn't mention to me was how much I was going to pay. And I didn't ask him.
Why?
But later I got to know that he said I should be paid 300,000.
Okay. Back then.
Back then.
So which year are we talking about?
You were talking about the 70s or what?
No, this 90s.
90s, yeah.
Late 90s.
When Taxi Driver was coming, yeah. So I told you right now, old age is catching up fast with me, so I forget dates. Now, I never knew that he said I should be paid 300,000 every week, every production.
Okay, for every episode of
for every episode.
Okay.
Now, so every episode I was being paid 100,000. That meant that every week, every episode, somebody was stealing my 200,000.
No, you don't mean it. Per the agreement.
What John Kay asked them to pay me was 300,000, and they will budget that for me.
But you were being given 100,000.
100,000.
That is 10 cedis.
On the paper where you had to shine. And you know, you were so busy going to get your money, so you didn't read through things. Oh, you only sign. They will say sign here and collect your money.
But were you told it was 300 or you were not told?
I was never told.
But that was the instruction given.
But that was the instruction given.
That you should be giving 300,000. And they were giving you 100,000.
So every episode, somebody was stealing my 200,000.
Who was the highest paid on that production?
I was supposed to be paid. That because I was the...
because Mikio Sebekun was on as a car owner.
It was recently that Sebekun was telling me he was collecting 300,000. So
they were paying him well.
They were paying him 300,000, and even some of those people who were playing lesser roles were getting 150 and things. And me, the key actor, was collecting 100,000
for taxi driver.
For taxi driver. So you know, fortunately and unfortunately, the Father Almighty has given me a big body. So you see, when you see my body, you think I have no worries in this world. But somebody was stealing my 200,000 every week.
Why do you keep saying stealing?
If you were to pay somebody 300,000, you are paying him 100,000. Well, you're not stealing his 200. Kwakwe. Alon te jamwa. The guy was stealing. They were stealing my money. I kept quiet. But the Father Almighty knows what to do, you know. And so I went to, I said, the manner in which John K. talked to me, my heart went out to him.
Okay.
So I was doing the thing like I didn't mind. I took the 100, fine. And then we did it.
Was it very consistent? You were getting it?
Oh, every week you were getting it. So long as you went on location, every Wednesday or so you get your, or every Monday or so you get your.
So you were able to save from what you were getting?
Right? Save. What was 100,000 at that time? Transport. And I was, in fact, I got to I have trained myself in such a way that I hate being late or being the cause of why people will say, we've been here and because of some Adjeteyfio, we started late. No.
You were always on time.
As early as 6 a.m., I would be at Village Communications. I knew, they would say, call time, they would say 6. I said, okay. I will wake up at Medina, fast on 4:30. By 4:30, I was ready. So I will come with the first bus. And then by 6, I will be at Village Communications.
Were you not driving at that time?
Driving. Bicycle Pombergo. Oh, not driving.
Some people thought that you were a real taxi driver.
No. I'll tell you this. When Emmanuel Appiah came to me after killing me softly, he said, Charlie Sam, we've got this thing coming. Taxi driver, where you are going to drive. At that time, I didn't know how to drive.
Are you serious?
I'm telling you. I didn't know how to drive. But when he said it, I said, okay, let's give it a try. And right after that, whenever I was sitting in truck or taxi, I'll be watching the driver, how he was operating his feet, and I will be watching. Then the guy who sold the car for us, the car we use for taxi driver, one day he took me round town. He said, Titi, come on, this is how you operate. Then Emmanuel Appiah was also very helpful. He said, Sam, look, if you're going to drive, do this, do that, do that. I said, okay. Then we went on location. And then they would say, you know, Titi, when you hear action, you move the vehicle. When you hear cut, then you stop and come back. I said, okay. So, action, cut. Cut, I will move further. Amid insults, I never bothered. Because you know why I did that? Because, you know, I would go and then stop, turn. And in turning, I'll be mastering the gears.
Okay.
Then come back.
It was a manual car too.
And then, don't you know you are wasting time? I didn't mind them. So in about a month, I was driving all over Accra.
So you were never a taxi driver?
I was never a taxi driver.
So it means that taxi driver, you never made any money out of it?
I mean, how do the English people call it? Hand to mouth. Or hand to lips. If you say mouth, that means your fingers entered your mouth. Meaning hand to lips.
Have you been well paid by acting?
It is a huge surprise to me when nowadays I hear these youngsters collecting as much as 5,000,
15, 20,000.
I never got paid 2,000 Ghana by any producer.
20 million.
20 million. I pay Komieko down.
So how? Were you not negotiating well?
Negotiating.
Or that time it was not paying?
Hey, whenever you mentioned it, they will put you on blacklist. Meaning they will charge you. I quite remember one lady told me, the Nigerians are coming. The Nigerians are coming. We'll pay them in dollars. I said, okay. So he said, Titi, how much will you do? And I said, pay me $2 in dollars. Problem. It's circulated all over. Now Titi is charging in dollars.
A stab in the dark. How much were you paid?
A stab in the dark. How much? How much was it?
30,000, 300,000.
I can't remember, but it was Village Communications, right?
It was a movie.
No, it was a film.
A film, yeah.
Yeah, it was
with Pascal and Edwards.
Yeah. A stab in the dark and all those things. This man was going to do well. Moro.
Okay.
He was the producer. Because at that time he said that even anybody who didn't get at all on his set will get 500,000.
Okay.
And then that means those of us who were the key, we were getting something better. But then, you know, the doom for people undermining. You shouldn't pay that too much. Moro had a good mind to pay actors well.
So you never made enough money from acting?
You never.
So currently, how many cars do you own?
Obaming Moro.
David.
Hello, buying for yearly. I don't even own a bicycle.
Why?
I'm telling you my story, and then what are you saying?
And okay, so I know I'm currently in one of the beautiful houses where you live. It's one of the houses that you built yourself.
This house is rented apartment. I'm just telling you to help me pay my rent.
You don't own this house?
I don't own it. I'm renting it. I told you I have a piece of land, and I came here because of that land. But then that was when 3.5, 4 years ago, I was hard hit by that disease. You know, and that disease took away everything. Everything.
So this is a rented apartment?
This is rented apartment.
Do you work now?
What kind of work?
Acting.
Acting, no.
What do you do now?
I don't do anything.
How do you eat? How do you get food? How do you get money?
I've become a charity case.
I don't get you.
I've become a charity case in the sense that as you are interviewing me now, you put it across like Kofi TV and the others. And so, well-wishers, sympathizers, you understand me, people will send me money from overseas. I mean, friends, or some of my fans. It's unfortunate that these days, the situation, this COVID-19 thing, has hit them hard over there. So right now, about 90% of the people who help me have all withdrawn their services. Do
you get help from some of your colleague actors?
Yeah, one or two. Notable among them is Master Richard. Of late, he's been very phenomenal. Yeah, when I call him and he picks the phone, so no more. Get Charlie, Mickey. Sometimes I'll just play. I say, Kaona, me don't can I petrol go taxi. They will say, oh no, we'll find something for you. And then sometimes, if I'm lucky, 200, sometimes 100, 150. So Mikio Sebeko has been doing well. Who else? Who else? Yeah, Mikio Sebeko.
What of some of the producers you work for?
Producers? Oh, yeah. Who? Apart from Mr. You mentioned his name at the beginning.
Mr. Prempe.
Mr. Prempe, who sent me that 300 through Abuaji. Who else? No. No.
So it means that you are able to take care of yourself and the family through friends.
Donations. I told you I've become this thing. What do you call? What did I say in the first place? I said I've become a charity case. Yeah. I've become a charity case because I told you my experience when I was trying to plant cassava here. And then what work are you going to do? So, but right now, having talked at length with my doctors, they said if there is any job that is not so strenuous, then that one I can take it. When we did that that advert you're talking, Duraplast, I was sick.
Wow.
But I explained to them that, Charlie, you all know I'm sick. So whenever you see that I'm getting out of wind, we'll have to break for about some 30 minutes, let me rest. And they agreed. So bit by bit, I was able to shoot it. So that if the thing is not so strenuous, the role is not so strenuous, that one I can do it. So that is what I've been telling producer, that if you have something like an executive role where an executive officer is going to have a chat with his workers.
You'll sit down,
or
and
a father, you sit
have
down.
To walk
No. Or a father and his children, or an elderly man with this thing. That one I can manage.
And do they call you?
That is the thing.
They don't call you?
They don't call.
Have they forgotten about you?
So once a while, when people interview me, like what you're doing now, then I send the message across.
That you are available? That
I'm available if somebody has some role that's not so demanding.
Even if it's a TV commercial?
Commercial, yeah. If a TV commercial, like what we did for Duraplast, and then I think some other company.
You did for CCT, is it Fisherman's Friend?
The Fisherman's Friend. Oh, that was, yeah, the Fisherman's Friend. And then the opportunity. You know, that one, you know what? The opportunity, how much do you think I was paid?
I know you were given not less than 5,000.
Really?
Yeah, because it's a very big commercial for a very big reputable company.
Congratulations. Okay. I called the guy. What is that, Luis? I said, Luis, don't you have anything going? He said, I don't have money. I'm as broke as a church mouse. He said, oh, boss, there's something little. But the money is not much. In fact, the money is not good for the caliber of the likes of you. I said, how much? He said, it's only 300. I said, don't worry, I'll do it. I said, I'll do it. Because
no, 300 cedis.
I didn't have even 50 CD.
So that opportunity thing you
did.
Wait,
I'm bringing the story. So he said, okay, boss. Then he talked to his boss, the one who was, what's the name? I've forgotten, but I'll remember and then tell you. And then his boss called me. And then he said, oh, but okay, you like to do the advert? I say, yeah. So, but the money is too small. So I've asked them to add something little. I say, he never told me how much he has added. But I ended up having 500. 500 for
that commercial.
That commercial. Now, the guy I did that thing with, he said, a novice. He told me he's a police officer. And he said he was now trying to get his way into the acting film. So I told him the story. The director said there was no script.
Wow.
The director only said this and this is this. I said, okay. So I told the guy, the whole thing was like, we've been friends for a long time, and now we old. So we'll do it as if we had an appellation. So when I say opportunity, then you say opportunity. So opportunity, then you say opportunity. He said, okay. The director didn't know I had worked this. I had fused this into it. But fortunately, for all of us, he accepted it. So when he said action, the guy was passing by. You see that it was at the beach.
Yeah.
And I was taking my drink. So when he was passing by, I said, opportunity. He said, opportunity, opportunity. I said, opportunity. I said, huh. And that was what sold that advert. So at the point, I went to Peace FM, and all over the place, opportunity upon Trinity. I said, what is happening? Opportunity upon Trinity, Trinity. I had lost sight of, I had forgotten completely the whole thing. Before it dawned on me that it was the advert.
Wow.
So that thing I put, and most of the adverts I ever did, whatever I coined and put in was what always sold the advert.
Wow.
And so that advert, I received 500.
For that advert?
For that advert. But as I said, I was as broke as a church mouse.
So you had no option?
So I even begged to do it for 300. And then they mercifully added 200.
Do you have a wife?
Oh, now I'm divorced, long time ago.
Why?
Maybe I was not meant to marry, but I have children. You know, so I've had my children by 2 women. Okay. But of course, there were others who came into the line. And trust me, they were all agents, even including the others too.
They were agents?
Agents.
Like, I don't get you.
You don't get me. Are you married? Yes, you are married. I see the ring. Pray you don't go through what I went through. If the devil sent you one of his agents, then you know what I'm talking about. In life, don't hold the line taut. I'm talking to you. In dealing with people, don't hold the line taut. Dangle the line. Huh? Pretend you are stupid. That's how you live life. Even in marriage, pretend you are stupid. That's how you get things going. But if you say, so sometimes you have to go by the principle of the 3 monkeys. I hear, I don't hear. I see, I don't see. And when I hear and see, I won't talk. If you learn to go by these principles, you're okay.
Last but one, at some point, you had a radio show. You remember?
A radio show?
A radio program. On Peace FM. Afternoon.
Yeah. It was good.
Yeah.
But you know, Peace FM, they are tribalistic. I must say this.
Why?
They don't like gang at all.
Peace FM don't like gang?
They don't like gang. At first, they were giving, there was news, 5 minutes news in gang.
Yeah,
they took it off. Yeah, come on, they took it off.
Peace FM is tribalistic.
Oh. And then I was doing that program. At that time, I was at Legon, School of Performing Arts.
Okay.
So, you know, my colleagues, the students, Northerners, I would say, Charlie, what the appellations you have in your language, then they will collect it.
Then you put all of them together.
Then I'll put all of them together. So, one particular one in some Northern language, a perizang peri, then you responded, Yuguzam beri.
Okay, so let's look at some of the appellations you were teaching on radio.
Some of the appellations was trouser a raw berima aba pension. I mean, I forgot about quite a lot. And people were enjoying this. But Peace FM called me. They said, look, the late Mafia, she said, Titi, your cue is the tree. Although all this, I'm an entertainer, so I was doing things that, and my listeners loved it. But they said no.
Mafia says, why are you speaking Ghana?
Yeah, why was... They had a principle at Peace FM. The thing must be tree.
What was it from Mafia? Because she was the program's head.
She was, yeah. And so, I think that was their policy. So, soon, they shelved it. They shelved my program. Although it was, in 1 hour, as many as 60 people could call. That was very popular, but they didn't like it because I was bringing all other languages, and it was popular. And you know, the Northerners were happy when they heard something from their language. The Akans, the Airways, the this thing, Ga. People were happy, but they didn't like it.
So you feel Peace FM doesn't like Ga?
They don't like, if they didn't, they scrapped it. Even my program, they shelved it. They want tree.
Okay, so the problem was because you were not speaking tree. Or you were speaking tree, but you were infusing, and then you were doing more of the Ghana.
Not more of. I was being fair to, at least, not only tree people listen to Peace FM. Ghana people listen to Peace FM. Northerners listen to Peace FM. Airways listen to Peace FM. So don't you think if an Airway was listening to Peace FM and he or she had something in Airway, she would feel more proud? Yeah. So that was what I did, and they didn't like it.
Did you walk in there to look for a job, or you were just called to come and host that show?
You know, after an incident, what was the incident? Yes, there was something. I was accused of something, yeah, and then it was on radio.
Okay, I think you were accused of taking money from students.
From a student.
Yes.
A student said I had collected $5,800.
Yes.
Fine.
It was all over.
It was all over, all over.
Yeah, I remember very well.
Newspapers everywhere. And Fifi Bansin invited me. So after talking, then the owner of Peace FM, Despite himself, told them they should employ me.
After your interview?
Yeah.
So you were employed?
So I was employed. So I was at Legon, but I was working at Peace FM.
But because you brought other languages into your program.
And then I sat down with Despite and Father Dixon and the others. And they said, what program should I do? And so it was Despite who suggested that I should do what this smallish man, Kofi Kumbilson, was doing in Kumasi.
Okay.
Oh, Adjeteyfio, that thing. So I brought it Adjeteyfio. And so he suggested that, and I was doing that. But if I had, you know, Kofi Kumbilson was doing it purely in Tree.
Yeah.
But mine was different, other languages. So that was what they didn't like about it.
So who scrapped the program off?
It must be...
No,
all of them.
All of them. Management.
Management. I would say Father Dixon and... because Father Dixon, whatever program you took on air, you have to show it to him. And then sometimes when I remember this queries and query, it took me quite a while before he accepted it. He said, you know, so I realized they didn't like the Tree. They didn't like the other languages. They preferred the Tree.
Titi, I want to end this conversation, but I'm so much concerned about where you live and where you need to stay to be very comfortable with the family. Now, when I walked in here, I thought that this is your own apartment. So I was telling my team that, oh wow, thank God. But I'm hearing this for the very first time, and it's so sad. We need to get you a place to stay.
Yeah, I very much appreciate it. We've been here for the past 3.5, getting to 4 years now. And at the moment, I am facing evacuation. I'm being evacuated because my tenancy had expired.
Okay.
And so as soon as possible, as quickly as possible, I need about 3,000 to settle my rent for about 6 months, the next 6 months.
Okay, so the next 6 months will be 3,000.
3,000, so that I settle the next 6 months. And then I pray that now that I'm getting better, my piece of land is just somewhere there, so that whatever little I get, I could, if even Patangpa, or not Patangpa.
That be your chummy.
Any structure you put with wood, you know, and then you put some zinc. Yeah, somewhere you could put your head with the children, you know, where it will be on our own, where, say, it won't get to a time where somebody will tell me my rent, you understand, because I have my piece of land there.
So you need just 3,000 to settle?
For at least for the next 6 months, so that I'll have my peace of mind here.
It means that if we are not able to raise that 3,000, it means that it's going to be a disaster for you.
That is the thing, because right now I'm already, on the 15th of this month, I would have eaten 1 month into the 6 months. Are you getting my point? Yeah. I'll be eating 1 month into the 6 months.
So Uncle Titi, this is your camera. I want you to look directly into this camera and what you have to tell your fans, because your fans are ready to come in to support you. I don't know if you have a number or how do we even get...
Yeah.
So I want you to speak to this camera and then...
Please, this is a serious matter. Rent. Other than that, I will be ejected, cleared from this place. And I wouldn't know where to go with my children. Right now, immediately, we need 3,000 cedis. That will cover 6 months advance payment. So please, if you get something and you want to pay, you want to give me something, the number is 0559 234 834. Repeat. 0559 234 834 or 054 079 0315. Again, 054 079 0315. And I believe at least I'll have some peace of mind. Thank you so much for being part. All over these years, you have been phenomenal. I mean, you've done well, but still, there's a bit more to be done. So please, thank you so much.
Okay, so those of you watching us, please, apart from the numbers that Uncle Titi has mentioned, in case anybody contacts you that there is a donation sent to any other number, I'm going to display Uncle Titi's number on the screen. Just contact these two numbers, right?
Yes.
Apart from these two numbers, don't deal with anybody. So we just need about 3,000 cedis just to get a place for him to sleep and then have a nice time, because currently he's not well, so at least we need to get him a place to be. So thank you so much, Uncle Titi, for having time for us. We really appreciate.
Thank you too. At least I've had some laughter this evening.
Accra needs your services.
Yeah, people still say we should come back, but I wonder.
Yeah.
I wonder. But it was a good program. You know? It was a good program. But I believe that, with the exception of the late Mufti Dabre, may the Father rest his soul, all the others are around.
Yeah.
And I believe if the right strings were pulled, we'll be around. Maybe I'll be a car owner this time.
Yeah. This time around, Ghana needs your services.
Yes.
It's not just Accra.
Not Accra.
Yeah, because in taxi driver, you said Accra needs my
Oh, but I changed it.
You changed it.
To Ghana needs my services.
Yeah. So, Uncle, thank you so much for giving us the opportunity to speak to you.
I'm happy. I'm happy you came.
Okay, so we just spoke to the legend, Titi, Sam Adjeteyfio, please. Sam Adjeteyfio. So let's all come together to support him. Thank you so much for watching our interview, and subscribe to our channel. Leave a comment and anything, just alert us and we'll get you through to Uncle Titi.
Step 1 TV. Captivating experience.